Hello, everyone. This is Kristen with Professional Advantage. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. As I know, we're all going through this time of change, and the change is happening daily through this pandemic. Our goal at Professional Advantage is to really ensure that you feel supported and know we're here to help. Therefore, on the call today, I've asked several of my team members to join, and I wanted to have a discussion with them to talk about what we're experiencing and how we can also help as well. So on the call today, I have Claudia. Claudia is our PMO lead. I also have Bo, our managed services lead. And then William from our support team, our support manager. And last but certainly not least, I have Jordan, our senior applications consultant. All right, thank you all for taking the time to join us today. Before we actually get started, I just wanted to start with a little bit of housekeeping. I know we don't have a lot of time today. I think we kind of limited it to 30 minutes. As we know, for many of you, you're working from home, and some of you it might be a new challenge, and it also brings some additional struggles. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with individuals lately who have little kids running through the background, pets, spouses. I know, like I said, I know your time is limited. We also know, as talking to customers recently, that there may be some bandwidth issues. I've had conversations with individuals in New York and California who, with their internet bandwidth, so many people trying to get on, they only have a limited amount of time. Therefore, again, we don't want to scare too much of your time today, but we do think it's important to take some time out and share what we've done as an organization to be prepared. I've heard a lot lately about the term, the new normal. So we want to talk about what our recommendations are to you as our customer through this new normal, and then how we can assist if needed. And then finally, we'll briefly discuss the latest legislation, as we know it's ever changing, and how it could impact your daily operations. All right. But with that, again, as I know your time is limited, we'll kind of jump right in. I do want to make a quick note, though, that we are going to try to open it up for some questions towards the end. So if you do have any questions throughout the webcast today, please feel free to put those into the questions pane. I don't know if we'll have a chance to get to all the questions at the end, but if we aren't able to, we'll certainly circle around afterwards and get back to you on your questions. All right, but with that, I wanted to turn it over to Claudia. Claudia, can you please talk to us a little bit about what Professional has done to be prepared for COVID-19 as an organization?
Sure, thanks, Kristen. Yeah, so here at Professional Advantage, we've actually been preparing for this since about mid-February. We started to do these single-day fire drills where we wanted to kind of test how our systems were going to hold up and what the end user experience was going to be, particularly for our employees who are not used to working from home. And basically what we did is we physically closed all our offices across the globe. Australia, Manila, the US, and the UK, everybody was closed. And we were really, again, testing how our systems were going to hold up and the user experience. And we did prepare for this. We did expect a couple of issues, particularly with people's home environment, because obviously this is something new for certain people. And we wanted to make sure that we could resolve any problems before it became a real problem. So fast forward to today, we've already done a series of multi-day fire drills. And really the results were very successful. Technically, everything went really good. Our systems held up very well. We did find that some home environments needed a little bit of tweaking, meaning that you can't be on your bed with your laptop on your lap and making that a sustainable work environment, unfortunately. So, some of the people who were new to working from home they felt that 47, some interesting statistics that came out of this is that, 47% of people felt that they were more productive working from home. About 51% said the same, and only 2% said it was worse. So it was interesting to find out some information that came out of this. And a fun fact that came out of this too is 43 people drank less coffee. So maybe there's some health benefits to this whole thing. But in the end, we are able to maintain our normal operational performance. So right now, Professional Advantage is just business as usual. Everyone works from home.
Mm-hmm. I know as you're mentioning things that we had to adjust to, I know me personally, so I work from home occasionally before, but most of the time I'd be in the office. Now working from home, I had to make sure I had multiple screens. I realized going through those tests that I'm one of those people that are used to having 3 screens all the time. So now I have all my screens and I'm a much happier, happier person. But I know
Absolutely.
people don't necessarily need that. So thank you, Claudia. I appreciate it. Also, I wanted to turn it over a little bit to William. William, as our support lead, can you talk to our customers a little bit about what they should expect? Should they expect any kind of changes now that we go through this change? Oh, William, I think you might be on mute. Not quite yet. Oh, I think you might be there now.
Say something. We can't hear you.
It wouldn't be a live webcast if we didn't have some kind of technical
Yeah,
difficulty,
that's
right?
right.
There we go, William. Now you're there.
Can you hear? You can hear me? Okay. So,
Yep.
sorry, too many mute buttons. So, yeah, in support, we're really pleased right now where we are. So all of our staff is healthy, but even with that, we have a lot of great bandwidth available. We are, while we have our full team at capacity, is here, we have full capacity. We're nowhere near full capacity in terms of the cases coming in, which means that we're able to respond to those cases that do come in much faster. So things are looking very good in support, and we do have additional resources we can add if that's going to be needed. But so far things are looking excellent. All of our numbers look really solid. I'm very pleased with the support team. Everyone is, been working really hard to make sure that they can get back to their customers as quick as possible. So. I do want to definitely encourage you all to continue to use the support portal as the way to do it. It's even more important now than it ever was before because with people not being in the office, we are all relying on that portal to find the cases and make sure that we're meeting them all. So please do continue to do that. And I also wanted to also remind you that there's the knowledge base that's out there. So if you do have questions, how-tos, things like that, there are quite a bit of articles that are out there. So again, that's customer portal. If you need us to add any additional users, even if they're not just for support, just to be able to access those resources, feel free to reach out directly to me, and we can definitely get those users added so that they can see all of those resources available. One final ask, though, that I did want to share with all of you guys is, so I've already had 2 customers that come and told me that they were turning off their 2-factor authentication. And the reason being is that their 2-factor, so that would be when we're trying to log into someone's systems, an email gets sent to someone's cell phone or something like that, a text, and they have to click to approve to let us in. And so the reason why they asked if they thought they should turn it off, and we agreed that that would be good in this situation, is because if that one person that we're relying on to be the gatekeeper for the client should get sick or ill, we wouldn't be able to get in the system and help them. So I definitely want to recommend that you either consider adding multiple people to be those gatekeepers for the 2-factor authentication, or perhaps considering giving us a little bit additional security rights during this time. That's pretty much all I have to bring from the support team right now.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Sounds like business as usual for support. So that's great. That's good to hear. Thank you. And I know William mentioned reaching out to him directly. If you don't have William's contact information, you can also reach out to account management or 1Staff at profad.com. And I'll go over that again at the end if you do have any questions. So again, as if you do want to add someone who's maybe not able to, you don't want to be able to enter support cases, but also want to still be able to see that support portal. So perfect. Thank you. So talking a little bit about security and enabling the individuals on your team, and also kind of setting up that right environment for individuals working remote. We do have Bo on the call, and Bo is our managed services lead. Bo, can you talk about, I know I've had a lot of questions from customers lately about how can they prepare their environment to work remotely? Maybe they're not used to it. What kind of steps should they take? What should they keep in mind as they're going through this new normal?
Sure. So, as we said, security is probably the most important aspect of things right now. I would prefer you don't disable MFA, but work with us to get us access to your systems if we need to. Working remotely, working through VPNs and things like that can really tax your systems and and your employees, and they can get frustrated with some of that kind of stuff. So you have to do what you have to do to maintain business as a company, but security and all that stuff I think is got to be your top priority. As far as managed services, we can actually help you guys with some of that stuff if you ever need help. We do have experts in lots of different areas, whether it's desktop, server, networking, application stuff. If you're not comfortable that your systems are prepared for some type of disaster that comes up, get a hold of us and we can definitely help you out getting some of that stuff set up. Another thing we've been working with some customers moving into Azure because we found out that their current remote access kind of wasn't up to snuff. So we've worked with them. We have some migration tools we install on servers and things like that. Move you guys. It runs and kind of specs out servers we need out in Azure, and we can actually get you guys out in Azure in a remote environment as quick as 48 hours. So it's one of those things where we'll get you up and running as fast as you need, basically, and do what we can to make sure you guys are secure and working as efficiently as you can from home. And we also take care of all aspects of IT, really. So like I said, if it's going to be your networking stuff, we can help with that. If it's setting up a VPN, building a new server, or adding servers to a remote desktop farm, experiencing all of that stuff. So part of us in managed services, we've been working with our customers to be very proactive on our maintenance. We want to catch any errors, any alerts, any kind of disasters that may happen before they actually happen and cause an impact. So we've been keeping a very close eye on all of our systems out there that we are monitoring currently. And way if it's something as simple as a drive filling up and the server would crash, we catch that before it actually happens. Make your process as smooth as possible working from home.
All right, thank you, Bo. And kind of with that too, you mentioned, that we can certainly not only help with if they have our managed services, but I've also had customers reach out to us recently who maybe have their own infrastructure and they need assistance as well. Bo, you're able to assist with those too, correct?
Exactly. Yep. A lot of our people on our team are just IT guys. I was a previous IT manager, so I've handled everything pretty much. The SAN issue, network switch routing, stuff like that, VPNs, hardware, software, pretty much everything IT. I've even helped people fix their electric stapler. So
all right.
Everything.
Well, now I know who to go to. Perfect.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Bo. So I guess if anyone does need any assistance, even like I said, if it is on their own environment or just recommendations, I know Bo is a great resource on our team. I know, Bo, you've been excellent as far as just meeting with customers and providing your recommendations on one-on-ones if they have concerns about, for example, disaster recovery and what to do or what to set up. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. So Bo talked a little bit about being proactive on the environmental side of things as far as the managed services side. Now if we turn it over a little bit to talk more about 1Staff and being proactive with 1Staff. On the line we have Jordan. So hi, Jordan, again. Thank you for joining us. Hi. So Jordan's been working really closely with our consultants and our engineering team to follow COVID-19 and trying to decide what would be the best ways and course of action to be proactive versus the reactive as well, and then also latest legislation. Jordan, can you talk to us a little bit about what you've been doing and what you've been hearing?
Yeah, so we know COVID-19 is going to affect business in general. There's a lot of different areas that we've looked at internally here with our consulting team members to really identify areas where COVID-19 is going to affect the application side, so meaning the GP side as well as the 1Staff back office side. And we pretty much put those two areas into two different buckets, the proactive side and reactive side, as well as the legislation side. So we have identified 4 key areas under each of those buckets that we think will impact your business in the future. Now, we really don't know the duration. We don't know if this is going to last a month. We don't know if it's going to last 12 months. But we think that these are areas that could impact your business in the future. For example, on the documentation side, we'll get into on the next slide, but being proactive really means trying to put together a plan before the scenarios happen. So with that being said, on the documentation side, we can identify processes that you're currently doing now, and we can document those in a format that you'll be able to understand if a team member is unavailable in the future. So for example, you might want to document your customer billing processes. You might want to document your vendor payables, the timesheet imports, the integrations. A couple of screenshots on this slide. The first screenshot is an integration screenshot where we can map out the different database objects that have to do with your integrations. We can map out the processes from start to finish on your integrations. To the right screenshot is documentation surrounding what windows users access to perform a specific process. So maybe in the billing process, there's a specific action that takes place that not a lot of other users know. So these documents can be very helpful, not only for COVID-19, but maybe you might want to refer to them in the future. So, for example, down the road after COVID-19, a lot of times your processes probably won't change thereafter. So these documents can be very useful.
Yeah, so I guess just a point on that too is making sure that as your team, as we go through this, to double check and make sure your team does have these processes documented. And if you don't, those are things that we're able to assist with. Is that kind of what you're saying, Jordan?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, so we all like to stay on the proactive side of things, right? But there are certain situations, unfortunately, that we hear about where we do end up getting a little reactive, or maybe the team is running lean or needing additional assistance. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and what we might be able to do in a pinch?
Yeah, just like you said, we all like to be proactive, but with COVID-19 and talking to a lot of team members and customers, the concern right now is what happens if someone gets sick and they are out for 14 days or longer. Let's say, for example, you always run your payroll processes on a Tuesday, and the temps always expect to check on Thursdays or Fridays. Then if that team member is out and those processes were not documented, and there's not a lot of other team members that have that information to go ahead and perform those processes, we're here to help you in those times of need. Now, we hope that that's going to be a very dire situation where this might not occur for most of our customers, but just be aware that we're going to be there for you in the event that that something like that does happen, and we can help guide you to provide you with the right information and how to perform your processes and meet payroll, meet billing, as well as meet commission.
So Claudia, since you're on the line as well and the PMO lead, say if someone does get into this type of situation where they're in a pinch and they need to run payroll, right? What do? They put a consulting ticket in, and then can you talk us through that process a little bit?
Sure. So if you do need some help, we do encourage you to use the support portal and put in a consulting case. So right now the PMO is overlooking the queue. Just tell us what you need, what's the priority, and we'll get on it right away. I mean, we understand that during this time you need help now. So we'll be out on the lookout for you if you need anything like that.
Okay, perfect. So really prioritizing by those high level tickets.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and now to the latest legislation, which I know has been changing daily, right? Or hourly, maybe I should even say what's coming out. Jordan, again, I know you've been speaking with our engineering team. Can you talk a little bit about what you're finding so far?
Yeah, so with the current legislation that was passed, we wanted to talk internally. We talked to both engineering as well as our consulting practices, and we determined that based on what we know so far, that we think the legislation is really going to impact the time entry aspect as well as the processing timesheets within 1Staff back office. So as you can see from this particular slide, at the very top of the slide, you have the point in time where the timesheet is captured on the front end system, and then it passes through into 1Staff, and then it processes either to payroll or to billing. And with that orange box, we think this is really the area that's going to be impacted in this entire process. So we thought that because a lot of our customers have already asked for ways of tracking timekeeping. For example, one of our customers, has nurses that work in ICUs, and they get paid a premium for dealing with COVID-19. So what normally they might have received $25 an hour, now they're receiving a $12 premium at $37 an hour. And with the current legislation, there's money set aside for hospitals as well as money set aside for small business owners. If your needs are, to report on that premium that's being paid out, we think that we have the solution, an all-inclusive solution put together for pay type management, as well as creating those reports for rebate and or premium reporting, as well as maybe customers are not passed through the premiums on the invoices. So we can certainly do invoice alterations. We think that those are three important features and aspects that we put together for the COVID-19 product that we've developed. And then at the bottom of the slide, you can see that we can take that particular solution that we've put together internally, and we could certainly provide reporting around premiums or rebates or just hours worked. And if those affect commissions, we could certainly make those changes to commission reporting, margin forecasting, demand planning, rebates reporting, and premium reporting. So we think we have a pretty good idea as far as an all-inclusive product, and we've developed this internally. And again, we don't know how many bills are going to be passed for this. We need to all be able to adapt. But we think we can certainly do a requirements gathering session and be able to adapt with you as the speed bumps come to the forefront.
Okay, thank you for that, Jordan. I appreciate it. And with that, maybe what we'll do is we'll turn it over to questions. Just kind of reading through some of the questions that have come in already, and most of them are along the lines of this latest legislation. But one of them is you're talking about the solution. It says, what does a solution look like? Can you provide a little more detail on that, Jordan?
Yeah, great question. So in a lot of the cases that we've seen so far from our customers, again, it really comes down to keeping track of that time, because that time might be recouped in a form of a rebate from the government, et cetera. So what we have put together is a way for the COVID-19 to be a separate pay type within your 1Staff back office product. And with that pay type, you could add it as an exception rate within the temporary placements themselves. So as an exception rate, it's going to be a separate line item. And our engineering team has developed a process to actually run through a stored procedure that kicks off and fires as you're doing your timesheet posting. And it will add in those additional COVID-19 lines for you on the timesheet side. And on the reporting side, because we've identified a specific pay type, we can pull that information and gather that information to serve it as a line item on, maybe P&L or somewhere in that nature.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I can see a lot of the year-end reporting and everything along those lines going to want to be rolled up. Perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, another question here. It says, this one's another one for you, Jordan. It says, I have web time. Will I need to upgrade? I think with regards to if they were to move forward with the solution.
Yeah, again, we took that into account. You will not have to upgrade web time. You don't have to upgrade Dynamics GP or 1Staff back office. It's an a la carte solution that we're going to be able to deploy into your environment. And if you're not on web time, if you're on some type of other timekeeping software, we've built it out again into the 1Staff back office as a different pay type. So you'd be able to enter in that time in your other timekeeping system if you create that code in your front end.
Got it. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate that. Okay, another question here, and I think we'll probably wrap it up after this question. Is again, I know everyone's time is limited, and we only did secure 30 minutes for today. But this one I'll probably throw to you, Claudia. It says, put you on the spot a little bit. It says, what would the solution cost?
Okay, that's a great question. I was kind of expecting that, as we're providing a solution. So like Jordan said, we've developed a standard solution that's designed to fit most of our clients' needs. This means that the development side of things is already complete, and we're really only looking at an implementation services. So we created a base implementation service package around it, and because we're making the solution to kind of help with all of our clients. So what we would want to do is have like a requirements call just to confirm that there's nothing that is specific to your business. But basically we'll start with the package and then go from there as we identify any other potential gaps that we would need to address.
Okay, thanks, Claudia. And so with that, again, just make sure I'm following correctly. If someone is interested, they could go into the customer portal and put in a consulting request, and then we'd schedule some time to walk through that with them. Okay, perfect. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me as well, or Christine Mead, my counterpart in account management, on that as well. We will continue to follow the ever-changing COVID-19 legislation and try to roll out all that information that we have to you, our customers. We also know there's a lot of information being released from the American Staffing Association and staffing industry analysts as well. So we'll continue to follow those, and we also encourage you all, if you're not members, to join or to continue to follow them too. They're great resources to have. But with that, again, I do know we all have limited amount of time today. I'm sure there's some of you that have little kids pulling on your pants as we speak. So we'll try to wrap it up. But again, if you do need anything from us, we are here to help. We know, like, again, this is ever changing. We're all working from home now. So even if you just want to spend a little time and chat, we're here to talk and kind of provide a little bit of a breather for that too. So again, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to me directly, anyone on the team, or you can email 1staff@profed.com, give us a call. But we do, again, appreciate everyone's time today and want to wish you all a safe passage through this as we move through this, and everyone be safe. Thank you again for today. Thank you all of the team at PA for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.